Moderation in life is the sweet spot. Only a Sith deals in absolutes. It's a bit of a Star Wars quote, but what I mean by that is underdoing something will always result in negative outcomes, and also overindulging in something usually comes with negative outcomes. So in the middle is the sweet spot. It's such a simple concept, hard in practice, but one thing that does help with this is that a lot of the times nature does give us little nudges that we're overdoing it or underdoing it. I'm going to use the sun for example. If you never go out in the sun, you start to get a vitamin D deficiency and you start to break down a bit and you just won't feel too good. If you stay in the sun for too long, you burn, and that is just physically painful. So nature right there is giving us little nudges that we are overdoing it or underdoing it, and somewhere in the middle is the sweet spot where you go out in the sun for a bit, you get a tan, and you can always feel when you're probably out there for too long and it's starting to burn you a little bit. It takes a couple of hours to realize that you burnt, but you know in the moment that you probably should have stopped it a little bit earlier. Another one, whenever I eat too much chocolate in one go, I without a doubt get an ulcer, and ulcers are so annoying. I don't know if everyone's ever dealt with this, but ulcers are just painful every time you eat, and I'm pretty sure it is just based off of overindulging in sweet things, and that just causes me pain in my mouth, and it's again nature saying that you need to cut down on the sweetness. So it is our duty to take note of nature's prompts and nudges and make sure that we're carrying on living within moderation in all forms of life. That's the most key aspect of this, is that it usually comes across in every single form of life. If you're working too much, you always get too stressed and you start to not enjoy the rest of your life because you're too stressed, tired once you finish work. But if you don't work enough, then you lack a bit of meaning in your life. You'll lose your job if you are meant to be working. So it comes across in all forms. The only rebuttal to this concept is the fact that extraordinary people who achieve extraordinary outcomes have to put in extraordinary sacrifice into their life. So they can't just train in moderation, because there'll be people out there who are training way harder than them. So they have to sacrifice some form of their life to put in the extraordinary input to achieve the outcomes, and that is the rebuttal to this concept. That one is just down to a choice of preference, whether the sacrifice is worth it, because NBA athletes who all they do is train, a lot of them don't have great family lives, or outside of basketball they don't have much going on. So it really is up to you whether you can withstand that amount of sacrifice for the outcome that you're going to receive at the end of it. But that one is a personal choice. But for most people, living in moderation is going to be the sweet spot. So sometimes our body will give us the nudges that it needs. If you're doing a simple task and you're getting out of breath, that's your body's sign saying you've got to start training. You need to be doing something more with your body, because right now you can't even perform the simple tasks of life. But if you're overtraining and you're waking up, every part of your body is aching and sore, and you're cramping up when you're just walking about, that's your body telling you to rest. And most of the time, our body and brain does know what's best for it. So it's listening to them and making sure, again, being in the middle, not too far on overindulgence and not too far on the abstinence side. It's literally a spectrum. Try and be within the middle, and that's going to be the best place to be. It's a simple concept, hard in practice. Listen to nature's warnings. Don't think there's much more else to say about this. There's some areas where you're going to want to overindulge slightly or underindulge, and it always is a choice. But just try to be more conscious of whether you're actually making the choice or you're just going along with what you think is right, or you're not even thinking about it, and that's the problem. Make sure you're stepping back, being conscious of your decisions, and yeah, staying within moderation. That's it for today's video. If you did like it, please drop a like, comment your thoughts, and subscribe if you want to see more of this kind of content. Thank you very much. Goodbye.